What's poppin', y'all? David's just been arrested and charged with the murder of Celeste Rivas and one of his close friends, Jason the Ween. They're on his head top right now. So Jason the Ween is a family-friendly streamer that a couple of people aren't too fond of, and he was also friends with David. So one of the head, I would say like the Wilson Fisk of the clipping pages, Kick Champ. What this guy does is if he don't like you, man, he's running a narrative on you, and you better get with him, as in pay him up to delete some posts, because even Aiden Ross had to do that. He hit him with the shakedown, basically hanging him over the balcony like allegedly Suge Knight was doing to people to get his bread. But he would post, Jason the Ween was the closest person to David before his charges and could possibly be a suspect. Jason the Ween's not a suspect. I'm just giving you guys that, making that clear right now. But this other stuff is true. April 12, 2025, 11 days before murder, Jason performs live on stage with David at Coachella. A lot of texts and phone calls back and forth were seen by police. April 25th, 2025, 2 days after the murder, David drops his album Withered, where Jason had already been tied to the promo cycle, appearing in a music video for What Are You Waiting For, filmed, released in March with Pokimane. So this was all happening. So nothing that happened after Celeste involved Jason the Ween whatsoever. However, when these charges first, or when these allegations at the time, they weren't charges, first came to light about David, there was defense made by Jason the Ween.
Stop spamming David. I mean, I feel like I have to speak on that. That's been everywhere. My whole For You page. Happened what, like 3 days ago? David, somebody, hey, I'm gonna say this right now. He didn't kill anybody, bro. He didn't kill anybody. There's no way. There's no way he's been on tour. He didn't kill anybody. He's been on tour. He literally performed yesterday. Bro, do you see the videos that he makes? There's no way he's killing somebody. He was framed. Either he was framed or my theory is someone and stole David's car and left it in the trunk. But I'm also not a detective, so innocent till proven guilty. Stealing a Tesla? Hey, bro, there's a lot of crazy hackers out here. There's a lot of crazy hackers. Huh. Plus, it was impounded, right? That was crazy. It was air rack. Y'all think if it was David, I'm pretty sure he's not even a suspect. Like the police don't even have him as a suspect. He literally performed yesterday, right? I'm not fully updated on the news. He's not. Exactly. Honestly, this is good for David. It's a lot of publicity for him. So when he gets proven innocent, he's just gonna keep going crazy. Facts or not? Yo, Raja, thank you for the 5 gifted. How does that make me dumb? This is viral. Well, obviously I'm not talking about the person that died. I'm talking about people are framing onto David and he could use that as publicity. Like, what do you mean GG's? What are y'all talking about? PR ruin. Okay. Bro, it's only my com that is more scared of me talking about a situation that everyone else has talked about. Why are y'all so scared? I started my stream and motherfuckers already typing, oh no, and like, oh, don't speak on anything. Like I'm not a streamer. I'm supposed to talk on. Jesus, man. But yeah, David's innocent. Are you performing on the 20th with David? Bro, yeah, I'm pretty sure I am still. I mean, nothing has changed. He already invited me before the incident happened. I don't know why anything would change. What do you mean, are you sure? Bro, there's not like an ounce in my mind thinking like he killed somebody. So, I'm not afraid, man. What would I be afraid of that he stabs me or something. Like, no, bro. David did do that, man. I'm gonna be on stage performing Summer Uptown with David on the 20th. Hopefully, unless things change. That's the same day at camp. Yeah, I'm gonna go to camp that day, and then I'm gonna dip mid camp and go perform, and then go back to camp. But yeah, I don't think anything changed, man. I hope not. I hope he's doing well. I texted him, but his phone is probably looking crazy right now, so obviously I didn't get a text back. Hopefully he's been good. Are you streaming the performance? Yes, I will be streaming it.
So this did not age well. On top of that, Jason the Ween also made a song with David that was released July 9th, 2025, which is 2 months or 3 months. Yeah, April, July. It's about 2 months or so. 2.5 months, let's just say that, because this was towards the end of April, so where they dropped a song together, which is Summer Uptown, which is a very successful song. Just when you look at the streams for this song on Spotify, it's got over 30 million streams. It is by far the most streamed song for Jason the Ween, and it's still up even after Jason the Ween, or even after the charges have come for David, and he hasn't talked to David in a very long time. So people were asking about this, and rightfully so. Jason the Ween was pressured to respond, and this was his response to the situation.
And to everybody saying like, oh, why do you have the song still up? Dude, I've been trying to take that song down for literally months. It's like it's owned by Interscope or something. I don't understand the music industry.
Hold on. When he's talking about it's owned by Interscope, when we go to this song, we can see it's Weenie Records everywhere. So unless he released the song as a single through Interscope, because Interscope, what they usually have is, for the majority of their record labels, it's Interscope X, whatever the record label is. Like, for example, like let's say Aftermath or Darkroom. Darkroom is the label that Billie Eilish is on, but it's distributed through Interscope. They run a lot of JVs. That's how their whole record label structure is. But when you look at this, there's no Interscope anywhere on this. So what usually happened is David would have to get Interscope to sign off on clearing the record for the record to come out. But at that point, it's Jason the Ween's record, and he can take it down if he wants to. Although maybe he has something in the back end that doesn't allow that to happen, or he has to go through some other channels like lawyers and stuff like that to see to it that the song gets taken down. I do believe he could have gotten it taken down, and I don't think that he's trying to keep it up and lying and saying, oh, it's Interscope or something like that. Because this song's not making him much money. Let's say this song made $150K. Does the reputational damage of this song being up, being able to be used by Jason the Ween haters or people that want to take Jason the Ween's PR down, is it worth the money that it already generated? Who knows how much money it'll generate? It probably generates a couple $1,000 a month for him. Maybe a little bit, which is a drop in the bucket for this guy. He's donated $250,000 to charity himself after the FaZe subathon. One of his sponsors probably pays him at least $100,000 in comparison to something like this. So I don't think he's keeping it up because he's earning so much money on the music. His image is clearly far more important than that. Now for Interscope. Interscope did take David off of their site once the arrest happened, but Interscope, they're just, it's like, what was the management? Wasserman. Yeah, Wasserman Agency. Those guys, they had this huge roster. The first person, and I always got to give her credit for this, because the guy, Ben Wasserman, I think his name is, but the namesake of that whole management company was found in the Epstein files with some shiesty stuff. He's saying like, oh, I wasn't involved in anything, but when you read the emails, he wasn't just named in there. He was talking back and forth. So Chappell Roan, who's a massive pop star, she was the first to say, yo, I'm not messing with this agency. I'm leaving this. I'm not. And a bunch of people followed afterwards. But what happened is a bunch of fans, they were going and looking up the roster and they're like, yo, Chappell Roan left and you haven't. Now, one of the people on that roster was Kendrick Lamar too. So what did they do? Wasserman, they took down the roster. So you couldn't even find the roster on their website anymore. You would have to go to the web archive to be able to look it up and see who they had, like the time machine, because it saves the site. So with Interscope, that's all they're doing. They just took him off the site. They're like, okay, he's not on our website, but you best bet his music is still up there. Of course. They're not going to stop the opportunity of earning money. This guy could be snitching on himself and it could be used as evidence, and they're keeping the song up there because it's going to make them money. They're looking at David like, yo, you have been the greatest investment we made, because in the past year or ever since these allegations came out, your music's just been streaming up, and we haven't been spending anything on you. Like, we're not giving you another budget. You're not dropping another album, so we're just pure profiting. But circling back to Jason the Ween, and even including David in this, F everybody that wants this song taken down. I hate the idea that a song can be taken back or taken down or deleted or lyrics changed. That's really what it gets me irate, and it reminds me of J. Cole. It also reminds me of YG, and I'm going to get into that in a moment, because this is a song. It is a product that has been released. We, quote unquote, bought the product, right? Like, we bought the Spotify license, we bought the Apple Music, whatever the case may be. And our presumption, even though it's not in the terms of conditions, is, hey, look, I've got this library, I get to listen to the music on there. Artists changing that, taking down songs, it's like, yo, what the hell? I didn't sign up for this. And this is why I think, in my opinion, a lot of people are going to go back to pirating stuff, because this happened first with YG. YG had a song on his first album titled Meet the Flockers, or something like that. But it was about B&Es breaking and enterings, and it narrated it in, like, they were like, hey, look, you got to scope out a Chinese house because they keep cash. That he was saying that on the track. And this did go a little bit viral at a certain point years ago, like maybe 8 years ago, in the Chinese community. And I think it might have been overseas, like Hong Kong, Taiwan, because there was a lot of Chinese characters written in there. It was in Mandarin. And they just kept the song. Nothing changed at all. Then the Stop Asian Hate campaign happened, and it resurfaced, blew up again. And this time, they changed the lyrics. So this song that's been out since 2013, they're changing the lyrics, they're censoring the lyrics, they're changing the song, and now I don't get to enjoy the song anymore, because the authenticity of the song came from the lyrics, which is like, hey, this is what he was really doing. This is what they're really thinking. He's not going into some white people's house who maybe they don't have, maybe the best they can get is jewelry and all of their money is in bank accounts. No, they're going to hit a lick on some cash. So when you take such an important part of the song out because of censorship, I feel like I got scammed. And that's why, hey, if I had the local file and I had downloaded it from, VK, shout out to all my Russians out there, and I allegedly got the full zip, you can't take that away from me. Or if you bought the physical of that YG album, you've got something that people can't get in the future unless they buy the physical, or yeah, they could look it up and download it, but they're not going to do that. The new consumer, or the people that grew up in this age, they're just like, oh, let me look it up online and listen to it. And looking it up online and listening to it means that you're going to get the censored version. Same thing with J. Cole. J. Cole dropped 7 Minute Drill, which was a diss song to Kendrick Lamar, and it was a great song. I enjoyed the song a lot, and it just gets deleted. The guy just takes it back. So now I got to inconvenience myself if I want to listen to that song so much. I've got to download it. I've got to look it up. I've got to download it, because they're constantly trying to take it down, because it's his copyright. So even people that upload it and give you a download link, they're constantly taking it down because he doesn't want it out there, even though he already put it out there. And then you've got to add it to your local files, and then maybe you could play it on your Spotify account. And this is just such a burden to do for every single song. It just makes you say, you know what? How about I stop paying for Spotify, that they're increasing every single month. I pay for Spotify and Apple Music, that they're increasing every single month. And let me just download whatever music I want anyway. Like, what are you guys really providing me at that point? And then that's where it goes back to this Jason the Ween thing. Like, do you guys really want this song removed? You know, you can enjoy this song, right? You can listen to the music. It doesn't mean you're supporting the guy. Like, yeah, inadvertently, and realistically, if you download the song and you're really not paying him. So that's another avenue you could look at, where if you're streaming the music, you're, quote, supporting them with not even a couple of shekels, bro. It's like a couple of fractions of cents per stream. And yeah, sure, David's getting that revenue, I guess. But if you want to buy the music, like the physical version, you get to keep it forever. This guy, Jason the Ween, didn't release a physical version of this. What I'm saying is, if you listen to the music, but you're not streaming it and you acquired it via third party, then every stream that you give it, that you listen to it on your own, you're not contributing to helping put some commissary on David's books or pay for his attorneys. And in that case, you can feel guilt-free. You can enjoy the music, man. Like, do we have to listen to music from perfect people? Really, twisted and dark people make some good music. They make some good art. But the fact that people want this song I don't think they want this song taken down, because this song is a banger. Am I listening to it like that? Nah, me personally, I liked more of David's like darker music, and I haven't listened to David for many, many months. Is that because I have some like moral issue of listening to his music? Nah, not really. I guess I had a phase of where I liked his stuff, and I'm just not listening to it. I've been listening to Sway Lee's album recently, which we got to talk about in a little moment. But I'm against anybody that tries to use morals to send us in a direction, and it's not morals. They just want a reason to come at Jason the Ween, to put us in a direction where these people are going to change song lyrics that ruin songs, remove songs, and we're not getting anything. Like, we're not getting what we deserve, which is we listen to a song, we want to go back, it's in our library, and we want to be able to listen to it again. I'm not paying you as a streaming service to be like, oh, well, you know, you're paying me to listen to this library, and then we're also going to take this stuff down because, you know, the artist doesn't want it up anymore, and you're going to have to deal with that and keep paying me. Well, how about F you, and I end my subscription, and I just go acquire things like I used to back in the past and build up a big drive. And then there will be a mass exodus like this if they just keep increasing the prices and not increasing the value, or really the value is decreasing in this scenario. But yeah, that's one thing that I cannot get behind. I don't care how bad the song is, because this also takes us back to a time where R. Kelly, like for example, if they had pushed through with this, like you wouldn't have an R. Kelly on this at all. R. Kelly's music would be gone. And yeah, I'm listening to R. Kelly's music. Well, actually, I'm lying. I would listen to R. Kelly's music, but I haven't listened to R. Kelly music in at least a year and a half or so. I can't even cap. I can't even pretend like I've been listening to him. Now, however, that album that leaked when he first got locked up, that one is a banger. I think it's only on YouTube though, but that's not even on Spotify. But like XXXTentacion, for instance, like there was a moment when Spotify was just pretty much deboosting all of these artists, and potentially they said they would leave them on the platform, but they were just gonna shadow ban them. And people fought against that. Kendrick Lamar fought against that, which shout out to him. This guy really fought for artists. But I'm deviating a little bit too far on a tangent after I started talking about R. Kelly. So yeah, this song should stay up. Jason the Ween, you're not doing anything wrong. Just be like, yo, listen, I didn't know anything about that guy. That is what it is. Obviously, you shouldn't be playing the song. That's bad for the brand. I understand all of that. But you are doing nothing wrong here. Screw everybody that legitimately wants to take you down, because they're not even looking at the second order consequences of this, which is these corporations. They're making a bag off of streaming, and they get to have control over what we listen to, when we listen to, and the ability to change it, which just isn't fair. At least back in the day, you bought a CD, they couldn't go into your CD and change what was on there. And I think that's going to be the new flex. Just like, yo, I got the CD or the vinyl, and it's got this track, and this one changed. I think YG's not like the most poppin' artist, but it's got me wanting to buy the YG disc, maybe a signed one, so I can have the original song like it was meant to be listened to. But yeah, I'm actually, this really does irritate me. Usually I'm just chilling, but I hate this. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.